is everything showing up currently? Because I noticed it stopped dropping frames as soon as I disconnected and reconnected, so as soon as I like stopped the stream and then started again. So maybe I just got put on the wrong Twitch server or something, and there was ping issues maybe. I don't know, because it seems like my internet is stable right now. So I thought that was kind of weird. You know what? No, it's starting again. Almost finished with your house, CK3. Are there plans to do another playthrough? That playthrough is not even over. It's like I talk about in the whole last session of the CK3 series. It's just going on a short break because of like schedule stuff. I talk about it in the series. There is no, like, it's not over or anything. I'm just trying to figure out this dropped frames thing right now. It's a little weird. But it seems fine, I guess. It's weird. I just went into my, you know, you can go to your task manager and you can go to performance. I was gonna go on there. FYI, no audio. Yeah, there's audio. There's no music on this screen, in case you're wondering about that. This is an ancient game and it doesn't loop the sound for some reason. Right, you know, you can go into your performance and you can see like your, how much, what was it? The data that you're sending and receiving on your internet thing. I went to performance, and for whatever reason, the only one that is clickable is Ethernet, like log me in Hamachi Ethernet, which obviously is not sending or receiving anything. You are not speaking, are... Yes, I am speaking. Yeah. Do some people not hear me? Yeah, people are saying they can hear me. Huh. Weird. Well, that was a lot of weird little problems right at the start, but it hasn't dropped frames in like a couple minutes now, so I think it's fine. Yeah, I think that guy's Twitch is just muted. It's just a bit quiet. Audio's fine. I can hear you. Okay. On my end, on like my streaming software, it hears me. So that's a good sign. And it also just totally stopped dropping frames. So whatever that issue was seems to be fixed now. Maybe a server just had a hiccup or something. Oh man, I was worried for a second that like it was my internet and it's like, oh god, no, I'm finally streaming again. I don't want something to go wrong with the stream. Oh, that would have sucked. Okay, now that that's stable, I'm gonna send out the notifications for everybody, letting them know that we're streaming. Yeah, can I just Google search Victoria 2 music, just so it plays something in the background? Okay, here we go. Songs of Victoria 2 official soundtrack by Paradox Interactive. There we go. I'll just play this in the background on the main menu until we get into the game and the music starts again. There we go. Oh, is that better? There we go. 0 viewers. I can see people talking in Twitch. Does it say 0 viewers on your end? That's weird. Oh shit, it does on my end too. That's so weird. How many viewers are there actually? Hold on, I think I have a button for this on my... Oh, that's so weird. It must be like a Twitch glitch. I checked my Stream Deck, and I have a button on there I can click that shows your viewer count, and it also says 0. Hey guys, did you know that none of you are actually here? What's going on with Twitch today? First it was dropping a bunch of frames, and then now it says that there's 0 viewers. Weird. Oh, it just switched to 48 now on my Stream Deck. Weird. That was so strange. Okay, I'm gonna send out the notifications on YouTube and stuff now, because it seems like things are actually kind of working now. We must be from Wyoming. Alright, I'm gonna tell the YouTube one to go live. And the community post. Is that a little loud? I think that might be a little loud. Let me turn that down. There we go. Might just be my headset. Audio is cutting off frequency. Sorry, dude. I think your headset or something is dying. All right. So that notification's out, that notification is out. Let's do the Steam group one. Oh, and I gotta do the one for Discord. God, this audio balancing. Come on. There we go, let me turn it down more. This song is called For God and Queen. Everything sounds fine? Okay. My audio's fine? Thank God. What is Victoria 2? I've never heard of that game. Well, you'll see what it is in a minute. I'm sure you could guess from the name, but it's like a strategy game that takes place in the Victorian era. So it's like 100-year span from 1836 to 1936. So it's kind of the beginning of the Industrial Revolution into the lead up to World War II. Is it another RTS? Yeah, kind of. It's not an RTS in the way that you might guess. Like when you hear RTS, you probably think like StarCraft or Age of Empires or Empire Earth, Warhammer 40k, Dawn of War, something like that, right? Company of Heroes. Usually that's what you think of when you think of RTS. Paradox Interactive's grand strategy games are also RTSs, but in a different style. It's kind of incentivized that you speed up and slow down the game a lot, you pause a lot. If you've ever seen Crusader Kings or Europa Universalis or Hearts of Iron, this is the same developer. This is one of their earlier games. Very fun, very not user-friendly. It's quite hard to learn, actually. All right, let me fix something up on my other monitor here. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's displaying all right. Like Stellaris? Like Stellaris, yes, same company as Stellaris, actually. In fact, some of you might actually know me from my old Stellaris video I did promoting one of their DLC. They contacted me once asking if I wanted to do a sponsorship with them for that, and I actually really like Stellaris, so I said yes. It was a really fun video to work on. They paid a lot more than sponsorships usually do, to be honest. And they also sent me a little desktopper placard thing as a thank you, which I thought was really nice. It's got the Stellaris logo, it's got my name, it's kind of cool. Probably the hardest Paradox game, Victoria 2? I would say it's the hardest one to learn. But once you've gotten quite good at it, you could really dominate this game. Although I guess you could say that about most games in general, but Paradox games in general. Game music's a little loud. Believe it or not, that's actually a YouTube video I have playing the music, because the game music doesn't loop on the main screen, so I had to load it up in the background. No face cam today? Yeah, probably not. It kind of covers up the game in an awkward way, and I don't feel like being on camera anyway. Like, I can turn it on if you want me to, real quick, but hold on, will it actually show up if I do this? It's behind the pre-stream thing. Let me get rid of that. There we go. Hi. I got my glasses on. There's like natural light coming in and stuff. It looks all bad. Let me turn on my spotlights for a second here. Control center. All right, I'm gonna go blind here. Ah! I turned on the studio lights. Oh, thanks for the resub there. Appreciate you, homie. Thank you. I appreciate you too. Do I not have the Streamlabs thing showing up? The notifications? I think I need to grab that from another scene. Yeah, I do. Okay, the on-screen's gonna get really weird for a second. Give me a second. I gotta switch through scenes and figure out which one it's on. Is it this one? Hey, hold on. Let me grab it from this. I see it. And then back to this one, which is actually an Evil Genius 2 source, by the way, the thing you're seeing right now. Let me paste that. And I'll put that up there, lock it in place. There we go. How's your work-life balance now that you stopped uploading to YouTube every day? It's a bit better, but it's still very difficult. Like, I still have shitloads of work to do. Oh, I've actually got a vlog that I want to do soon that's kind of not about that. That's one of the questions I got asked about. I want to do a Q&A video, and some of the questions are about stuff like that. so I'd be talking about it in it. I don't want to be a jerk, but are you planning on doing any other content than Pokemon challenges? Yeah, dude, I've been streaming all kinds of other stuff. I love the good challenge videos, but I kind of miss the random MTP and gang shenanigans. Yeah, I uploaded a non-Pokemon challenge video last week, didn't I? Wow, that's getting really loud, sorry. There. Yeah, I uploaded, what was it? If you follow me on Twitter, you'd know, because everyone on Twitter already gets to see this early. In fact, I'll link it to all of you right now. I have a highlight video that my friend Cuddy edited of a Fallout New Vegas stream I did recently. I'm really happy with it. I think he did an awesome job. Let me link it to you real quick. I just made it publicly available for everyone to watch through YouTube through the Twitter link. Just as a thank you, basically. I couldn't think of a good name for the video. So I just said, okay, it's just free on Twitter and everyone can just watch it now. And whenever I think of a name for it, I'll make it go up public on YouTube. So anyone can watch it if you just have the link and it's on my Twitter, you know? Found you through the M and J TV reaction to your Mallow challenge. That's awesome. I thought you were sitting in darkness since there was no face cam last couple streams. Oh no, I still keep the lights on and like window open stuff. But I would have the spotlights turned off, which would be more like this, which kind of looks dark for you. It looks like I'm in a dark room, but like for me, there's actually lots of light in this room. It's just the camera doesn't know how to handle. It's not set up for like this natural light coming in from that side, and then I got a spotlight on the right. In fact, I can just keep the one on the left turned off because that window there. Eyes are blurring a little bit. I'm surprised that a streamer I watch would play Vicky 2. I don't know why people would be surprised that I play Vicky 2, to be honest. I've uploaded, how many hundreds of videos have I done of Paradox Interactive games now? 300? It's probably over 300, because there was the Hearts of Iron series. I have 2 different Crusader Kings series that are over 100 episodes long, I think. Maybe 3 now? Oh, man. And then there was the Asterius playthrough, and... No, I probably have, like, over 500 videos of Paradox Interactive games now that I think about it. Oh, my God. Wait, you do Paradox things? Yeah, dude! So this is the thing. People always, People think, like, he's that Pokemon challenge guy that I only know from the Pokemon challenges, and they never check out the rest of the channel. And, like, that's fine. Nobody owes me their time or their views. I'm just thankful that anybody checks it out. But I thought you only did Pokemon. Okay, so for people who don't know what else I do, I did a video a day minimum for 10 straight years. I only finished in March. The Pokemon challenge is one video I do once every week for a couple of years. Like, the vast majority of my channel is Let's Plays and streams of all kinds of games. Like, there's a reason the channel's called MahDryBread Gameplay and Streams. It wasn't a Pokemon challenge channel. It's just basically no one was doing Pokemon challenges. Like, a couple people did a couple, and they did well. And I looked at the videos, and like no one was doing them, and they looked really fun. So I just decided, okay, I'll give it a try. And that's literally what I said in the first one, in the first Pokemon challenge. So it's just a side series I started doing that ended up getting more popular than the rest of the show. But I kept doing the rest of the show, because I love the rest of the show. So I don't really care if nobody watches the Let's Play stuff and the stream stuff in comparison to the Pokemon Challenge stuff, because I'm proud of it. So, whatever. You've been having so much watching your past... I'm guessing so much fun. Watching your past videos came from the Pokemon and so much more. Thank you. I actually got a tweet the other day from someone saying that they slept on my non-Pokemon stuff for so long and they regret it. Reading stuff like that is always heartwarming. It's good to know that when someone checks out the non-Pokemon stuff, they realize they really like it. I'll watch them after this stream. I hope you have fun. I got hundreds of hours of Paradox stuff if you're into Paradox stuff. There was a while where I had the top tutorial for Hearts of Iron 4. It was like the biggest, it was the it was the first result in English if you searched Hearts of Iron 4 tutorial for a little while. That tutorial's a bit out of date now. Unfortunately, a lot of my Hearts of Iron 4 stuff is out of date because the game has updated so much since then. But, you know. Is this gonna be a series? Yeah, probably. Don't discount your Pokemon show. Your humor is amazing, and also your cats have helped me with many sad times. Don't get me wrong, I'm not discounting my Pokemon show. I do really like my Pokemon challenges. Trust me, if I didn't have fun doing them, I wouldn't do them. I'm a stubborn person like that. If it's not fun anymore, I'll just stop. But I guess I had to explain why I associate that with stubbornness, I guess, because you'd probably think stubbornness is refusing to stop even if you're not having fun with it. No, I'm just very self-driven that way. My stubbornness is like, I want to do a video every day for 10 years. Like, I you know, like 5 years in or so, I was like, I could keep doing this when I realized how long I had done it. And so I just decided 10 years. I only decided like multiple years into it. It wasn't even intentional at first. I just realized I had been uploading every day. So, you know. Gotta love Vicky too. It's so good. Any plans for Terraria LP? I've done a few Terraria Let's Plays, actually. I wouldn't mind doing another one. I've got a friend that I've been playing it with a little bit just in my downtime. How to play Hearts of Iron 4 in under 40 minutes is still in your top 10 when you search Hearts of Iron 4. Wow! Yeah, I just try to teach people quick. Did you ever get the Guinness record? No, because there was a couple times in the first, like, year or two where I missed a day or two due to, like, computer exploding or some shit. And so I just, like, followed that up by uploading a ton of videos the next, like, as soon as it was fixed, I think. Which is why my average is way above the average of one video a day. One video a day for 10 years would be, 3,500 and some odd videos. But when I hit 10 years... If you count the unlisted videos that are still publicly viewable in playlists, I'm not counting any videos that are deleted, I had 6,000 videos, which is almost double. I think 7,000-ish would have been double. That would have been an average of 2 videos a day for 10 years. And I got pretty close to it. So I don't meet the weird specific criteria of any kind of, like, award. I guess if you were to want to manufacture an award for me, the award would probably be most videos over the course of 10 years by a single person. So I uploaded, recorded, and edited everything. That's 1.7 a day? Yeah. Yeah, dude. Even the last 2 years of, like, doing Pokemon challenges, I've been uploading 1.7 videos a day. When's 3 videos a day for 10 years starting? So if you were to manufacture a award for me, it would be that. But honestly, I don't need an award. Like, I actually had one guy get mad at me on Twitter. He was very angry that he looked back at my backlog and he found like a 1-day gap 2 years into a video a day. And he's like, you didn't technically get it. And I was like, look, every time I've ever explained in detail what the record is, I always say, like, oh yeah, there's, like, individual days missing, like, 3 different times over the 10 years, and this is what I did to try and rectify it. I don't really care about the, like, I don't know, I think people get so bogged down in the semantics of the literal, like, every single day over exactly 10 years and all that. They kind of ignore the whole, that's a fuckload of work to do for one person, and it's like, no, I'm proud of the work. I'm not proud of the arbitrary record. I'm proud of the work I did. It's like, I don't care that I missed a day. Do I look like I care that I missed a day? Fucking, I did like 6,000 videos. Do you have any idea how many people have sent me messages saying that they watched those videos and it helped them, like, laugh when they were having a shitty day? Why would I not be happy about that? How could I possibly not be proud of that? And then they just get angry because there's some semantic problems. I don't get it. The only award you really need is that verified Twitter check mark. One day it'll happen, I swear. I should probably turn off the webcam. I think where it is right now, it'll get in the way of things. Yeah, it'll probably get in the way of a lot of things, actually. Which is a shame, but you know. Love watching your videos. Link to a No Sleep podcast. I don't know where to put the screen, honestly. Okay, so here's what we're going to do real quick. Just real quick. I'm just going to go into a file just so that we can look at the screen real quick and see if I can actually fit this webcam on screen somewhere without blocking things. So, this is what the game generally looks like if you have the menus open. This bar on the right is normally like way, way, way larger. If I just do something to fill it up, can I just... I'm just gonna... I just need to fill up the bar. Is the CK2 save dead? No. There we go. Oh, it doesn't fill more unless you have more things beyond just that, I guess. Yeah, because that navy is just gonna stack. Okay, well, what I could do is this. This will make the sidebar big enough that I can actually see what late game looks like. CK3 gonna be played again, yes. Just like I said in the CK3 playthrough. Why do I get asked that so much? There we go. Did that fill at the bar? There we go. That's the full length of the bar. Okay. Now the main thing that makes me not want to put it on the left is if I just select some units, boom, that's where that menu goes, right there on the left. So this is a pretty packed screen right now. If I take my webcam window, right here maybe? That feels weird. Can I put bottom left? Does anything appear here in the game? You know, you guys really don't need the map, do you? No one looks at the map in this game. And honestly, can you even read this menu? You probably can't read that menu, can you? If I did that... But then I need to make the chat a little smaller. I do have to leave. Love you, man. That's okay. Don't worry about it. I hope you have a fun day. But I like the map. Pensive. Okay. Okay. I don't know where to fly to. Where should I go? What doesn't look completely in the way? That's the problem. I would gladly have the webcam, but no matter where I put it, it feels in the way. And this feels wrong, doesn't it? Like, hold on. If I flip it, will it feel a little bit less wrong? Give me a second here. I want transform. Oh, no, I gotta unlock that. Hold on. Webcam, cam link, transform, flip horizontal, relock it. That's not awful. I don't like that I'm so far away from the chat. Maybe I need to bring the chat with me. Chat, you're coming home. You're coming home with me. There we go. And if I put that on the different monitors so I can take a look at that. Okay, that looks good. Sorry, I was just leaning over other monitor to see like the full screen massive preview. Yeah, it's not bad. That's not horrible. It feels weird on the left side. I kind of want it to be on the right side, but you need to flip the chat too. Yeah, totally. Okay, let me center that on the bottom. Yeah, sure, that looks good enough. Hold on. Like that, and then I'll fix it to be like that. Lock it. There's still that awkward little gap at the bottom. That's really annoying me. Sorry, I need to fix that. It looks hideous. Okay. I wish you could see what I'm doing right now on the back end to fix this. It's quite the ordeal. You know what? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Right there. It looks good enough. If I put all these people on the same tile, I just want to get all these people on the same tile so I can see how big this gets. Okay, it's like that. So it still doesn't overlap. We're good. Okay. And just checking some menus real quick. Nothing is actually in that corner, is it? Hell yeah, nothing's in that corner. I think we're good. All right. I'm gonna just quit the whole game real quick. It was playing 2 songs over each other there. Okay. Oh, did I not send out the tweet? There, I sent out the tweet. And I think I forgot to send out the Discord one too. I'll finally do that now. Where is it? Twitch notifications. There. All the notifications are out now. Never understood the essence of having a chat in the stream window. If you want to read the chat, then don't go full screen. The purpose of the chat being in the stream window is so that the YouTube audience sees it. Because all of my stuff gets put on YouTube after, because I'm primarily a YouTuber, not a streamer. This is something that I've kind of always done. This is actually a very old school... This is a very old school thing to do with streaming. In the modern day of streaming, this is not as popular of a thing. But way back like 10 years ago when I started, normally you would put your chat on screen if you're recording it for your YouTube show, even if you're streaming, so that the chat is part of the YouTube video. Because to me, I think that the chat is part of the show, you know? So if I put that on the YouTube channel, then people, if they're not, anytime that they are not immediately captured by the gameplay, they can read the chat. If they're not captured by what I'm saying, they can read the chat. And then there you go. Boomer. I'm 28. My grandfather is a boomer. After Historia Civilis, I've actually never had to say that channel name out loud, actually. Treaties of 18 and 14, I can only see these as the years of peace. Oh, there won't be much peace, trust me. I did see that video, though. Very good YouTuber. I love that channel. All right, I'm gonna start the local recording here. There we go. Yeah. I think we're ready for an intro. Hey, everybody. MahDryBread here. We're doing some Victoria 2. I've been really looking forward to playing this game for you guys because I've got almost 1,000 hours on it, and I've finally become passable at the game. Victoria 2 is one of those games that takes you a very long time to get decent at. This isn't going to be teaching you how to play exactly, but if anybody has any questions how to play, I am happy to answer them because I've done all the wiki diving for you. Today, we are going to be playing as Germany. I want to have... There's so many different fun ways to play this game. I've played as big countries and small countries, and they play very differently. But every once in a while, once every few playthroughs I do, I like playing as one of the biggest of the great powers and just dominating the world. Because you can, more than most Paradox games, you can really mess up the world in Victoria 2 just through completely normal things like winning basic wars, and I'll show you why in a second. Let's, so we pick, if we wanted to be Germany, we're gonna have to pick Prussia, because we have to form Germany. Sorry about the music volume, by the way. The game has terrible sound balance. Let me know if it gets to be too much, and we'll figure something out. Okay, we're loading into Prussia, so we're playing with the HPM mod. For anybody, if you're, like, new to the game and you're using this to get into the game, HPM, if you just Google search Victoria 2, HPM, you'll get the download to the mod. It is pretty much universally accepted as, like, required, because it is essentially a fan-made DLC that makes the game more playable. This was an old Paradox game, and they didn't make anything even remotely user-friendly, so it needs some work. Thanks for the sub there. Nice glasses, MDB. Thank you. I've had them since I was in high school. There's probably still bent to shit. You know, I shouldn't even wear these right now. It's probably just glaring off the camera. Okay, so we're at the start of a fresh file here. There's a lot to do in the beginning of the game as Prussia. There's a part where it picks up, which makes it loud. The music, yeah. So there's a lot you had to do right in the beginning with Prussia. Austria is kind of inevitably going to butt heads with us reasonably early in the game. So this game is 1836 till 1936, 100 years long. The first half of the game is kind of industrializing and setting up your power base. The global power is kind of getting settled in and figuring out who controls what. Ever checked out the Mash Map mod? No, I'm not a huge mod guy, honestly. I've tried a couple little mods for this game, but none of them held my attention as much as just HPM, which is essentially base game made functional, with a lot of the broken economy fixed up. So, is this like a sequel to the CK games? No, but I can understand why you would see it that way, because it is later in history and it's by the same company. But this is before Crusader Kings 2 and 3, for instance. Anyway. Do I prefer Hoi for Victoria? They're both really good, but Victoria. Anyway, I should talk about the game a little bit. So let's start our setup stuff for Prussia. Right at the beginning, I'm going to just grab my whole army, and we have a lot of fixing to do. So we're inevitably going to go to war with Austria, and the war shouldn't be that hard if we play this smart. If you play it really stupid, maybe they can beat you, but Prussia's got quite the military advantage over Austria. The first thing we have to do is form the North German Confederation, and what that requires is the border gore of all these little German states. If we go to the map mode called Sphere of Influence, which is F on your keyboard, we can see that as Prussia, we have all of these little countries in our sphere. United Kingdom has a few of these, like Hanover, and then some of the southern ones Austria's got. Now, if we go to our Decisions tab, I'm going to unmark Show Options. We'll go over those in a second. If I scroll through, North German Confederation, all of the below are required: at peace, invented nationalism and imperialism, which I think we can get in like the 50s. And we need all of the countries in the Confederation to be in our sphere of influence. This game is heavy on strategy. The beginning of this is going to be a little bit confusing, probably, but not that bad. So, first thing I want to do is sort things by my influence and just mark off all of these for influencing. I don't want to lose control of any of those, and I actually need to gain control of a bunch of them too. So Hanover here, we're going to want to influence that. Is all of this land there Hanover? Yeah, all of that is Hanover's. Down here we have Bavaria. Yep. Baden. I don't know if I'm pronouncing some of these right, I'll warn you now. Württemberg. A lot of these are German, so sorry, I'm Canadian. I don't speak German. And then I also need Saxony. What is Parma? Do I need Parma? Parmesan? Hold on, I'm gonna search this. It's down here. I definitely do not need that in my sphere of influence right now. Thanks for the subscription there. Future spelled weird. Maybe that's a word in a different language. Yeah, that's in Italy. I don't think I need that. Since the game encompasses World War I, can you research and use mustard gas? Yes, actually. Funny you ask. Under Army, under Military Science, and Military Directionism, which the earliest you can research that is 1900. The two of the inventions under it are gas attack capability and gas defense capability. And let me tell you, as soon as you research that and you get gas attack capability, oh man, rebellions stop becoming an issue, because rebellions don't have gas defense, no matter what technology you have researched and what country they're from. So you gas attack your own citizens when you put down a rebellion. that late in the game. And you have no choice to not do that, by the way. The game is cruel, but it's from a particularly cruel period in time. Although I guess you could also argue it was the least cruel part of time up until that point, so there you go. Oh, with rolling Rs? Shit. Sorry, I can't do that. I've never been able to pull off that rolling R thing. Doesn't that violate the Geneva Convention? Didn't exist yet. Doesn't matter. So, we need to reform the army, like, right away. This is a big problem. We've already set the game right here. You can see influence. We're trying to influence all these states that we need under our sphere of control. So this game, first and foremost, is actually an economics game. If we go to the trade menu, these are all the goods being produced in the world right now. This is like the common market. You can see all the resources in the world. We can hover over any one of them and see the top 5 producers. We can see what we're producing. Like right now, we're glass. We're producing 3% of the world's glass. We have one glass factory making a decent amount. We also have artisans just making their own independent glass that they're selling. So our country is producing 17 glass a day, I believe that is. Our artisans are using it to make wine and beverages, so beers probably. And this is just a list of what it could be used for, all kinds of stuff. Some of the stuff we haven't invented yet, like the telephone's not been invented yet. So, yeah, our population is using 5 of the glass, so 5 of that glass is being purchased back by our own people just to make other things. And then the leftover 11, am I mathing? No. 12, the leftover 12 glass, I'm an economist, everybody. The leftover 12 glass will get sold either to the local market, or if there's leftover from the local market, it'll get sold to the international market. And the first person to buy that will be citizens of whatever country has the most prestige. So this is a fun mechanic. We're going to look at this right here, the Great Powers. These are places 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the world. Let's, I can also sort this down here, so we can see an expanded one. You can see we're Prussia down here, 5th place in the world overall. So our overall score is 152. Austria is at 157, so we're just a hair under them. We could easily pass them and go to 4th place. But the star is your prestige. You get prestige through winning battles, through winning wars, and through certain technologies and events. Oh, thanks for the resub there. I appreciate that. Right. Prestige, very easy to farm, but hard to get in first place of, just because the United Kingdom has such a lead on it. But if you have the most prestige, then you always get first dibs on buying international goods and selling goods to the international market, which is super good for your economy. So we're going to be going for that. You look old with glasses? I know, right? I look like such an old man with glasses. I'm not even 30. I just look like an old man with my old man glasses. But then if I take them off, then I can... Then it takes forever for my eyes to focus on the chat. I'll give it a little while and see if it improves. Luxembourg treated as a German minor. We actually don't need Luxembourg, which is nice. So we're going to overtake Austria pretty fast. They like us right now, but we're inevitably going to butt heads over a lot of territory in like the 50s or 60s. Oh, and Neuchâtel I can influence right now from the beginning. They're a satellite of Switzerland. I'll do it, but they usually just join Switzerland anyway, so whatever. Can it be played on a crap PC? Hell yeah, it can. Vicky 2's from like 2010. This game's old now. Queen of Bots, oh my god, I caught you streaming. Hey! I caught you streaming. Not super recently, because I've been crazy busy the last few weeks, but I caught you streaming a few weeks ago, I think it was. Alright, so, another thing that we need to set up at the beginning is our national focuses. So if we hover over there, we can see we have 2 national focuses based on our technology, but the people of our culture would allow us to have 7 national focus points, which is the maximum. That's one nice thing about starting as a major power. You rarely need to worry about population when it comes to national focuses. So I think I'm gonna just grab ideological thought as my first tech. Before I do, something I recommend you just check out as any country is your decisions here. Decisions tab. You want to just go over these. New ones will pop up throughout the game a little bit sometimes. Some countries have more than others. But these are kind of your unique bonuses that you want to go for. First time I've been awake for your stream. Sorry, I usually stream later in the day. Right now it's earlier in the day. For early things to focus on for Germany, I'm a big fan of going for support the Krupp family fairly early because what you get out of it is an enormous bonus to your technology research rate in pretty much every category you care about. The only thing you get a negative in is Navy, and honestly, Germany is so literate in the first place that you'll get every tech like 10 years before the game's even over. Some countries don't get every tech, so I wouldn't worry too much. Plus, you can only get it after you get like state and government and stuff, and some of these things are behind thresholds that are year-based. I'm not worried about getting this because that is just mostly some prestige. It's like a song. Thanks for the sub there. I appreciate that. Studied the butter knife? Army decision making, that is 15 years of some sweet bonuses to military that I don't really need right away. Don't spam the chat, dude. It's okay. You don't need to like spam the chat to get attention or anything. Like if you just talk normal, everyone's nice. Right. So the Ruhr boom is really nice. It gives you 10 years of a whole bunch of population growth and factory throughput. Most importantly, though, factory owner cost goes massively down. No, it's okay. He stopped spamming. If he starts again, I'll do something, but whatever. It's probably just like a kid or something. Just be nice. Anyway, the factory owner cost getting cut in half is one of the reasons why you might want to hold off on doing this a little bit, even if you can do it earlier. It can be a really nice thing to grab as soon as you go like laissez-faire if you have a really good industrial base. Are you excited for Victoria 3? Of course I am. How could I not be? North German Confederation is a really high priority for us, and that's why I'm kind of considering just going for some tech to get influence faster. Wait, Victoria 3? Yeah, it is actually announced. Like, there's gameplay footage now and everything on the Paradox YouTube account, if anybody hasn't heard. So some of these things I'm not particularly concerned about even doing. I think my top priority right now, then, is going to be getting the country literate. So we're at 70% literacy, which is one of the most literate countries in the world, which means our tech rate is really good from the beginning. But, as you can see here, if you can read that tiny little text box, intellectuals provide 1.51 research points. Optimal population is 2%. We have 1% intellectuals. Or the base game would refer to those as clergy. We need to get that up to 2% fairly early, just because the research bonus is quite large. It seems like very few research points. They're only providing 1.5, but that's before all of your percent bonuses. So all of those will get applied to it. It'll equal it to a lot more than it looks. Now, realistically, for a lot of countries, I'd recommend you actually get to 4% intellectuals in most provinces rather than 2, because 4% will max out the rate at which they gain literacy, which is really valuable. But Germany as a country really doesn't need the literacy. They start with a ton, they learn it pretty quick anyway. I would only focus hard on literacy if you're going to colonize Africa a lot. And Germany really doesn't need to. You can if you want to, and you can make some good money off that, but they're perfectly fine if you don't. I remember when I did say Paradox just announced Victoria 2, you were shocked. You mean Victoria 3? I'm pretty sure I saw the announcement on Twitter, but I don't remember. I just realized it's my birthday. I don't think you just realized that, but happy birthday. All right, I'm gonna go ideological thought for my first tech. So real quick, how the tech system works. I like how I said I'm not gonna be like teaching everyone how to play, but I'll be answering questions, and now I'm just teaching everyone how to play. So there's all these tech tabs, right? Looks like there aren't that many techs, you know? I've been so busy, I just forgot. There's happy birthday regardless. So there's all these tabs, and there's all these techs. They're gated behind activation years, as you can see there. Like this one we can only get in 1900 is the earliest we could research that. Did post the announcement when they streaming it. Yeah. Trust me, lots of people message me whenever anything Paradox happens. Anyway, this doesn't look like many techs, but the thing you get immediately is just whatever's on the left here. What really gets you the cool stuff is the inventions. So let's click on a tech here. We're going to click on medicine. Medicine gives you 25% more supply limit. That means that you can have 25% more supply worth of army on a tile before they're too big for the tile and they get attrition, right? That doesn't seem huge. It really isn't that huge. It's nice, but it's not like super high priority. So why would you want medicine right away? The inventions. So let's hover over combat medicine. This lowers army attrition and gives you military hospitals. Base chance to research this, 2% a month. So every month that ticks by, there's a 2% chance that you will discover this invention. The chance goes up based on the percentages in the description, which is usually, hey, are you in this situation? Or do you have this other tech? Then you have this higher percentage or lower percentage, you know? So like with electricity, you can't invent like the radio if you don't have vacuum tubes yet. And for vacuum tubes, you need the electrical power generator. What time is it where you live? Almost 1 o'clock. I live in the Greater Toronto area in Ontario, Canada. Is it MDB's internet or does mine keep buffering? Yeah, is it buffering for everyone? Because I was having some connection issues with the, Why do I look so low on the camera today? I was having some connection issues with the Discord's, or the Twitch server today. I don't know what's going on with it. I wonder if their Toronto server is just fucking up. Anyway, I am going to go ideological thought first, though. In general, culture is one of the strongest tabs. Culture and industry tend to be, like, the strongest in terms of your economy. So right away, I'm going to take ideological thought because it's an extra national focus. That's really important. And it is loaded with plurality. Plurality is right here. We start with 25% of it as Germany. We're an absolute monarchy right now, by the way, so we can just pick our government. The positive change is better depending on like past victories and stuff. If you're kicking a lot of ass, then you'll get a lot of plurality. Also, if you let people have like diplomatic will, you know? I'm gonna guess that's the same person spamming now. Sorry, dude, I gave you a chance. Like, oh, thanks, Joe. All right. Toronto's mad. I tend to avoid, especially now. Oh, I don't live in Toronto. I just live in the Greater Toronto area. Okay. Now, we're gonna get a bunch of plurality from winning wars, but we also are gonna get a ton from the inventions of ideological thought. The reason you want plurality is it multiplies the amount, not multiplies, it adds to the amount of research you get by percentage. So, at 25% plurality, we get 25% more research. That's massive. So yeah, we really want that. That's like top priority. Next, I'm gonna go into my population thing here. It's sorted from top to bottom by population. The first thing I want to do is probably get intellectuals, but if I hit U, this is my state admin efficiency map. And not every place has full admin efficiency, but I could get it up pretty early. I'm going to completely drop my naval spending and drop my military spending massively down. I'm going to max out education, administration, and military, and max out every tax to 100%. Now, mind you, we're not actually taxing our people at 100%. You're planning on moving to Mississauga, but it's too expensive to live there alone? Yeah, Ontario's awful for that. I used to live in Mississauga. Although I lived in quite the shithole in Mississauga. Okay, so 100% tax sounds really bad, but the effective tax is 25%. because we don't have the means to tax our people at 100%. Like, we do not have the government infrastructure and the technology to actually tax our citizens at 100%. Okay, so it still thinks that we're going to lose money here, so we're going to have to institute a tariff as well. Generally, you want 100% tariff, Jesus, which the effective tariff is only 54%, because admin efficiency. Okay, well, if the money is that bad, then we're going to immediately take our provinces with the highest population of North Germans. It's Brandenburg and, what, Prussian Rhineland? Yeah. And we're going to have them encourage bureaucrats. So this is a big part of the game. It's all about the population, right? So what I just did, I clicked Brandenburg, and I picked size. So we're sorting highest population to lowest population. So the highest demographic in Brandenburg is North German farmers living in Berlin. They are fruit farmers. They're about 80% literate. And we can see the breakdown on everything about them here. We can see that they are most likely to become bureaucrats if they're changing job. We can see that plenty of them are promoting every month right now. Some are becoming intellectuals and some are becoming craftsmen, which are factory workers. Am I the only Ontarian here? Probably not. Believe it or not, I'm not very popular in Canada. Actually, a record number of my dislikes come from Canada, which is really funny to me as a Canadian. Okay. All right. So we're going to get a little admin efficiency. What that's going to do is admin efficiency increases the rate at which people can promote when their criteria are met. So they promote faster if you're changing demographics. It also means that you can more efficiently tariff people in those areas, which is good because right now it looks like we're going to run a deficit. Watching from Lithuania. Nice! Lithuania's up here. IRL is part of the United Baltic Provinces at this point in history. I just clicked on Baltic Latvia. Lithuania's here, right? Right. Here we go. Lithuania. Lithuania is currently occupied by the Russians by the looks of it. You know, in the new update coming out for Hearts of Iron 4, the new DLC they're working on is going to have a unique focus tree for the Baltic states. That's Latvia? Oh, yeah, sorry, like the literal thing I clicked was Latvia, right? You know what I mean. I was pointing in the direction. Okay. Where was I? I want to reform the army because the army's got issues. First, though, real quick, show government options, and I'm going to not get notified of dissolve the upper house because I actually want to be quite democratic. I want reform local government. I want it to tell me whenever I can do that. That's just an option that's like, if you have any place with unequal laws where the law hasn't caught up with the standard of your citizens, you can click that and you'll make sure that you go through and reform it. I generally do that. I generally try to aim for everybody to have the best rights possible. You know, I actually don't want to choose a trade policy right now because this is probably just going to be hyper tariff stuff. And I'm not actually a huge fan of going heavy tariffs. This early in the game, though, you know what? Well, you know what I could do, actually? So because we are currently an absolute monarchy, there is no vote. We can just change the party. We are currently the monarchy. We can just pick what party's in charge between the conservative, liberal, and reactionary parties. And that's actually kind of useful in the early game because the conservative party... Let's take a look at what our political parties are, you know? Our political party for the conservatives right now, they're protectionist, interventionalist, moralism, residency, jingoism, no official welfare policy. Most of them don't have that till late game anyway, because there is no welfare system yet. Why would we want to be democratic? Generally, it keeps the people really happy and keeps the people fairly wealthy, but not always. This early in the game, I'm not thrilled about going Liberal Party just because they're anti-military and that would limit our military spending, and I really do want a powerful military in early game. Late game, I don't think I'll even need high military spending to have the best military. I would kind of like limited citizenship because it helps assimilation rate, but we don't have many people to assimilate. Moralism, I don't really care. Residency, it doesn't matter too much right now. The main reason I don't want laissez-faire this early in the game is because it would limit the amount I can tax people, and we're already losing money. So I think what I'm going to do here is we're going to choose our trade policy as an interventionalist, a protectionist interventionalist, which allows us to take protect the Prussian economy, mercantilism, makes the minimum tariff goes up, but the tariff efficiency is also up. So we can't set it lower than 50% for like 10 years. Oh, 25% is what it said it at. Okay. But we'll more efficiently tariff them, which we can afford to do that for 10 years, you know? Game seems interesting, but I wouldn't play it. I hear that a lot about people who watch me play Paradox games, but then they always end up getting into it in the end. Okay. Let's go ahead and start fixing things here in terms of our army, because we have a lot of stuff we don't want right now. First, what I'm going to do is start taking the leftovers. What I want each army to have in early game is 1 Hussar, 5 artillery, 4 infantry. For like beginning of the game, that's an awesome composition. I don't care about the cuirassiers. They're not amazing. I don't care about the engineers. The enemies are barely going to use forts anyway. So those dudes, I'm going to just flat out disband to save myself the money. This will lower our military score at the start, but I don't particularly care. Shouldn't be that big a deal. So we're just going to go through and do that real quick. With all of our armies here. We still have a little while before we're going to have a war with Austria, so we've got quite a while to prepare for this. We're also going to have to go to war with... Oh, get rid of that. We're also going to have to go to war with France, inevitably, because we need to take some land from them if we want to make Germany. But that's usually pretty easy by that point. Just wanted to say hello. Thank you for helping me learn about CK2, which I've been having a lot of fun with. I'm also watching CK3 playthrough to learn that game more, and watching your Mount Blade 2 Warband playthrough as my potato PC is too weak to play it. So in short, thank you for a lot of fun to watch and all the work you put in for our sake. Thanks. I am happy you like the show so much. Okay. Now that we deleted all those units, we're already looking a little bit better. I want to... What's our navy? It's like tiny, right? It's literally 3 Clipper transports. Clipper transports are like proper transport ships that are like, you know, with a sail. Not steam-powered or anything like that. No engine, you know, just winds. So that's kind of out of date. We will want paddle steamers pretty early to get troop ships, but we don't really need to go across the ocean early. I'm not planning on doing a whole lot of colonizing this playthrough. Kill the Danes. Don't forget the Danes. Don't worry. We'll take care of the Danes. In fact, we do have cores up here, so we do need to... Where do you have them? Cool. Right here? Yeah, we got cores on them, so let's start getting that. Now, I don't actually need to eat up all the way here. Yeah, my claims only go up this far. Cool. Okay, we'll get all this land eventually. I promise. I totally promise. I promise. I would never break a promise. Okay. So what are we dealing with here now in terms of armies? I'm going to get everybody into the same-ish area just so I can really properly look at this. And I'm going to set 4 armies to just congregate right here when I build them. I already know right off the bat I'm just going to make a bunch of artillery because we absolutely need artillery. Actually, you know what? I'm going to have like 4 armies at the end of this. Right off the bat, then I want 4 hussars. The rest can be artillery because we seriously need some firepower. Artillery is massively important. Okay, I think we're almost ready to unpause. What we're going to be keeping an eye on here is our bureaucrats over here. It'll turn red when we've maxed out the state efficiency there. State admin efficiency. There are reasons to have more bureaucrats than that later in the game if you really need it, but we probably never will need more than just to get the admin efficiency. You mostly need lots of extra if you have tons of colonies. But I've played as Germany before, and if you do really well as Germany... Oh, I forgot to shave off the extra stuff from this guy. If you do really well as Germany, then, oh, no, delete the whole thing. Here we go. If you do really well as Germany, then, you tend to have a lot of migration naturally to your colonies, and they'll become states. Like, I had Uganda become a German state yesterday. We need Otto von Bismarck. You can get him in power. I don't think I've ever done it, though, because you require some specific stuff to do it. Like, I'm usually, by the time I could, I'm usually not a monarchy anymore. I've given people voting rights, you know? Okay, all the armies are in position. Cool. So here's what we're gonna do. First of all, I want to delete all undermanned brigades. No need for them. Just, we don't have the population for them anyway, so what's the point? Oh, we still have one of these guys? I get rid of him. Okay, all the undermanned groups are taken care of. Perfect. Ally Britain. Britain is great to ally. Oh my god, they'll actually accept right from the beginning? Absolutely. Britain is the country you want to play if you, like, are already decent at the game and you want to just mess around. They're, like, the #1 pick. Germany's the second best pick for that, probably. You can have some fun as Britain, but I wouldn't recommend it for your first country. For your first, I'd probably recommend something like Sweden. Sweden's great. You can do whatever you want with Sweden. They're out of the way enough that you don't have to participate in everything, but they're close enough that you can if you want to. It's easy to make them a great power in the early game just by spamming these technologies. Aesthetics under culture. If you spam stuff like romanticism and realism before everybody else, you'll become a great power just through your prestige. That alone will get you a pretty strong economy. Okay. You mean absolute monarchy? Yeah, we're currently an absolute monarchy. But we're going to become a constitutional monarchy at some point, which is a form of democracy. So what I'm doing now is I'm going through and making sure that I only have 4 infantry in every army group. Because I don't need more than that. The reason for that is because that occupies my front line. There we go. They've accepted our military alliance. That is awesome. There we go. So that's still got a spare infantry on that. We have enough infantry currently. Oh, nope. There's a guy there I need to get rid of. We have enough infantry right now for 6 armies. Plus 1 left over that I'm going to get rid of just to save space for getting other stuff. Okay. 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 Can you nuke us? End my suffering? You can do whatever you want with Sweden, please. I actually, in my Brazil file, I wish I did this on screen. In my, not my Brazil file. I have some fun Brazil files. Brazil's really fun. In my German file I did the other day, Sweden managed to unify Denmark, Sweden, and Norway to become Scandinavia, which is a very powerful country you can make. It's really awesome. And immediately, they tried to back someone else in a crisis, even though their military was like 1/10 the size of mine, and I was allied with like everyone good. And they didn't back down in the crisis. Like, they were like, no, Finland must have this island or something. I was like, no, they won't have the island. And they went to war over it. So I beat them in like less than a year with a dismantled nation casus belli. So for 1 year, they were Scandinavia, like unified Scandinavia. And then immediately after that, I dismantled them. So they had to dismantle their army. They split up into all of the countries again. All of the countries ended up becoming in my sphere of influence, and then Sweden signed a military treaty with me. I just love that could you imagine getting completely annihilated in a completely needless war, and then your scumbag government that made you go into this pointless war in the first place, They just sign a treaty with the people that just ravaged your whole country with tanks and gas attacks. Sorry, I really like Victoria 2. It's a really fun game. Anyway. Okay, so we gotta wait for some of these troops to get made anyway. We can make more troops now, though, as you can see here. How many cannons do we actually have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have we have 5 cannons. Okay. We need more than that. We need more than that. Okay, so we already know that we're gonna have 6 armies right now. We're making 4 hussars. Let's queue up 2 more. That'll get us our 6. And once again, just another huge bulk things of artillery. This is gonna cost us a lot of money, probably. Oh, wow, it's actually not. Sardinia Piedmont wants an alliance? What's their military like? So this will happen a lot if you have a big military, by the way. If you have a big military, a lot of people will ask for alliances often. If you reject them, they tend to get angry. Sardinia Piedmont is a secondary power. They're 13th place in the world. If you're 8th place or higher, you're a great power. Being a great power in this game is a massive advantage. So you got to be careful. If you invest heavily in getting someone in your sphere and paying into their government and, like, you know, investing in them, and then they become a major power, they're going to nationalize their economy, and you're going to lose anything you invested in them. So you got to be careful. You want them to be strong if they're, you know, with you, but not too strong. You still want to keep them under your thumb to some degree. The military in Sardinia Piedmont is not amazing, but I kind of like that they flank France, so if I butt heads with France, it'll distract the French. I'm going to say yes for now, and I'm going to ask for military access because it only costs 1 diplomatic point, and it gets us lots of friendship. Same with the UK on that once we actually can. We have a cooldown on our diplomatic actions with them. Yeah, Sardinia Piedmont tends to form Italy, and I tend to ally Italy in my games, although I tend to also go to war with Italy. Italy is kind of a good whipping boy in this game, although they're very powerful if you play as them. A smart player can make a good use out of Italy. Okay, they accepted military access. Ooh, what is this? Diesterwig publishes his guidelines for teachers. Adolf Diesterwig, a German educator, laid down principles of teaching children that aimed at making them conscious, thinking, responsible citizens. His ideas get him suspended in 1847. Interesting ideas nonetheless. We gain a little prestige and a little bit of research. These are some random events that certain countries always get. Just a little bonus. The research is actually really nice this early in the game. In the prestige, will that take us up a rank? We're 5th place in prestige. That did not take us up a rank in prestige, but we did actually bump up to 4th place great power, just above Austria. Just barely above Austria. Cool. Although we're much more industrialized than they are. Are we 2nd most industrialized in the world? We're 3rd. First is United Kingdom by a lot. Then is United States and Prussia, which we're both neck and neck. Okay. Really, the only country with a serious amount of factories is the United Kingdom. Speaking of, we can look at our factories right now. We're not subsidizing anything. See this little green box? I swear I know my colors, I swear. See this little box here? That's subsidies, if we want to subsidize a factory or not. Attractive people, that includes you reading the message! Oh man, everybody at home. Fun fact, they did historically. Who did what historically? Never bring China in your sphere of influence. In this one, it's pretty much impossible to, because there's a detriment to doing that. But yeah, if you were to bring China into your sphere of influence in early game like you can in vanilla, it is likely to crash your economy. So sphere of influence, let me explain this to you too. I know we've barely like unpaused. Wow, we actually already have the bureaucrats we need in Rhineland? Cool. I know we've barely unpaused, but switch that to intellectual. There we go. But trust me when I say that the stuff I'm teaching is actually quite vital. So sphere of influence, what does it actually do? You already know that obviously we produce goods in our country. Our people need goods, you know, like you can see our lower class people here. 73% of them are getting their life needs. 27% are getting their everyday needs, as well as life needs. So nobody in the lower class is like starving right now or anything. They're at least getting their life needs. Some are getting their everyday needs. And then above that is luxury. Middle class, like some artisans aren't getting any of their needs, probably because they're selling a good that's not making them a profit. Some are getting some life needs, some are getting life needs, some everyday, and some intellectuals, clerks, and artisans are actually getting their luxury needs, so they're considered quite wealthy for their class income, you know? Ooh. I watched your Skyrim gameplay. Sad it is abandoned. Any plans for another Skyrim stream or Let's Play? I literally don't know what one you're talking about. I'm sorry. I think you might be talking about a Skyrim thing from like years and years ago. Unless you're talking about my Skyrim challenges that I've been doing in the last few months. If so, definitely not abandoned. Getting some practice in before Victoria 3 comes out. Oh, I'm sure Victoria 2 plays nothing like Victoria 3. Just because Victoria 2 is so not user-friendly, you know? Okay. Bureaucrats, are we almost done on this? Yes, we've almost got Brandenburg's state efficiency up. Alliance with Switzerland? I'll say yes, but they'll just dissolve the alliance quickly thereafter. Switzerland never keeps an alliance with you, even if they ask for it. Yep, they just got rid of it immediately. Because they maintain neutrality. You can violate Swiss neutrality if you want, but it's an immediate 25 infamy, which is a guarantee that if you don't dominate the world's military score... Wow, the game is getting loud all of a sudden. Sorry, the game's audio balancing is terrible. That's a little better. If you don't completely dominate the military score, the whole world will gang up on you. If your infamy hits 25 or higher. Is to keep you from just being like a horrific warmonger. Okay, a lot of this is getting built. Perfect. I was just making sure that, like, we're actually purchasing the stuff for that. What is the output of cannons right now? We're making 2 a day. Mostly artisans, just making artillery. Okay, okay. I was just making sure. So, when you have someone in your sphere of influence, what that means is there's never a tariff when you're buying their goods, and when they're selling their goods internationally, your citizens get first dibs of buying any of that stuff before it goes to the rest of the world market. So, for instance, let's say that, like, my country of Prussia, we are making tons of money selling wine. Let's say that we're, like, the biggest wine producer in the world. It's our huge industry, and we really want to keep that going. But we're running low on glass. You know, we got all the fruit we need, but we're running low on glass. Glass is made of coal. So you need glass factories or artisans making glass, preferably factories. As the game goes on, the factories become more efficient than the artisans. So you'll want factories, but let's say you don't have enough coal to fuel all of your glass factories, so you need coal. You could conquer land with coal, obviously, but you don't always have an opportunity for that. You could do technology to make your coal mines get more coal. You don't always have an opportunity for that. You could purchase coal, you know? Your people could be purchasing coal, but that's not always the most efficient, because maybe you're not getting first dibs on that. Maybe there's coal shortages, because everybody needs coal. It's a common resource. So what could you do? You could sphere somebody. Let's say that Czechoslovakia is its own independent country, right? Prague is one of the best states in the game. Massive population, and it's a coal-producing province. It tends to be one of the best coal-producing provinces in the entire world of the whole game. Prague is an amazing piece of land. We're probably gonna conquer Prague, by the way, because it's really good, and it's not that hard to take from the Austrians in like 20 or 30 years. But what we could do, let's say we're not going to conquer Prague. Let's say that we're Belgium, and we just don't have the military, we don't have the access, we're not going to take Prague. What we could do is sphere them. We could pile on our influence, we could invest in their economy, we could diplomatically maneuver to make sure that we're their best buddy and that they don't like the other great powers, so that we sphere them. That way, any coal that Prague doesn't use, they sell to us before they sell to the rest of the world, and they sell it to us with no tariff. That bolsters our economy. That's why you want a big sphere of influence, and strategic ones too. That's why I like to take low competition countries that I can invest heavily in that don't tend to get conquered. Persia, great example. Persia has lots of coal and it has lots of cotton, and they tend to industrialize in the first half of the game. Once they industrialize, you can really start getting them a lot of railroads and stuff and increasing it. They're not like amazing. They can be if you really invest in them, but you can pretty much be guaranteed that they're never going to become a great power and industrialize their nation, you know? As long as you keep them a little protected, they'll never boot you out. They'll stay in your sphere of influence and you can be best buddies. We're not going to take them yet. We'll take them later. I also really like to get Brazil in my sphere of influence early game because they are massive coffee producers, and coffee is not the kind of resource that you can easily get access to. You pretty much need to be the Netherlands or Brazil if you want a lot of coffee. And also, as the game goes on, Brazil gets access to a lot of rubber, and rubber is vital in late game electronics, like which is used in all kinds of things from airplanes to tanks to telephones to radios, like high value goods. So that rubber that you get from Brazil, very important. I recommend you make a good friendship with Brazil. USA strong point is basically oil. Yeah, they tend to have... USA tends to be the best oil producer for most of the game until someone gets better lands in Africa. Denmark wants an alliance, but their military is pathetic, and I will probably go to war with them at some point. There's very little value to them, especially considering this land right here that I want is a satellite of Denmark. I'm gonna say no to that, because we're probably gonna butt heads. Persia's a good unciv to play as? Yeah, so unciv, for anyone who doesn't know what that term is, it sounds harsh, but if you are a country that is not industrial, does not have the Industrial Revolution yet, at this point in history, they refer to that as an uncivilized nation, as you can see right here, which means you got to do some work to westernize until you can basically build factories and do modern technology. Uncivilized nations can be very fun to play as, by the way. Persia is really fun to play as. I find making Dutch South Africa is super fun. Super fun. You can do so much fun stuff with them because they're an independent, industrialized nation in Africa. It's the only country that can do that right from the start. You just, like, it's within 1 year of playing Britain, you'll get the option to play as Transvaal, and that'll do it. Oh, that's true. Japan is probably the most fun uncivilized nation. They can civilize in like 10 years from the start. They're highly literate and very powerful. They're pretty much guaranteed to be a great power once they civilize. Is India uncivilized in this? Yes, but that's because they're under British rule. If, as England, you release India and play as India, oh, one of the funnest countries in the game. Because the first half of the game is like going around, grabbing all the little provinces and forming a united India. And the second half is like industrializing your nation. And if you really industrialize India, first of all, you've got a lot of resources the world doesn't have. You've got tea, you've got opium, like you've got resources that a lot of people can't get their hands on, which means foreign investment will pour in, which is nice. Two Sicilies wants an alliance? Sure. I'll take the alliance. If we look at our diplomatic map mode, we got alliances with UK, Sardinia, Piedmont, and two Sicilies. Okay. And by the way, just give me military access, UK. Mostly because it costs 1 diplo point, and boom, gets us 30 opinion. 200 is max opinion, negative 200 is the lowest, just in case anyone's wondering. Give military access to Sardinia, Piedmont. Take military access from two Sicilies. The reason why you want all these military access things, by the way, is it's dirt cheap to do in terms of diplo points, and it makes them like you a lot. It's a lot cheaper than just trying to befriend them normally. Opium, why? Why is that important? Because it's a valuable resource. You can't make it into anything, but you can only, like, it's not used for any products or anything. It is simply an everyday need for some people. But because you can't, like, manufacture it in any way, the only way to get it is the provinces that make it. Hold on. Am I already influencing Mecklenburg? Yes. Okay, good. Just making sure. Okay, we have a lot of these troops being made. Good. Okay, start divvying up these hussars. I'm just trying to manage the army right now. That's 3 cannons. Is that the 4th one? Hell yeah. Go over there. Okay. You over there. Sorry, they're starting to go on the same tile and all split up and it's starting to take attrition and stuff. This game really needs a proper army manager. It's pretty atrocious. Are guard regiments worth it? Yes, we just can't get them this early in the game. You're from Karelia, India. Anyone else from India? I do have a decent amount of viewers from India, which, I mean, makes sense. India's second highest population country in the world. I believe if demographic changes are... If it hasn't changed since the last time I checked, I heard that India is going to be top populated country in, what, like, under a decade, probably. Let's search, what was your spelling? Kerala. Wherever Kerala is, it is not searchable currently in India. Is that the name of the town or if you name the province? Is it a province or a state in India, actually? If you name the province, I could probably find it so that everybody can see where in India that is. I like teaching people geography through this, you know? Because I learned geography a lot through video games. Okay, split off those hussars. Like, that's how I can point out where most of these countries are, is just by playing a lot of games that would show you. Do I have 2 places set to congregate units? Apparently I do. I didn't mean to. Okay, is that all the troops right now? No, there's still a few more being pumped out. Okay. So that's a full army right there in Berlin. I need to send 4 cannons up north. Artillery is incredibly important, by the way. Curiosity's sake, is the USA in this game at all? Yeah, every country is. USA is the 6th great power in the world right now. Here they are. United States of America. Mexico's still at war with Texas right now. What's the icon spinning on top of the armies? Oh, like that one right there? That icon, this icon, is... Well, it's clearly a picture of some artillery, and it is an artillery unit, but I'm actually not sure what the icon is for. I've never paid attention to that before. I do know that these little dudes, where it's like they're making guns or something, that's the icon for someone who's being trained there. I don't know why a blacksmith is the icon for it, though. That means the unit is from a unit pack. Oh, someone actually knows there. Cool. You learned most of the map through Paradox games? Probably same here. There we go. That's Unified Army. That's Unified Army. Still have more Hussars coming in. Okay. Is that everybody? One more cannon coming in. Okay. Get those cannons down there. Actually, you know what? These dudes only need one more cannon. Also, see one of my favorite games being played. Oh, I'm happy this is one of your favorite games. I love this game. There we go. Oh, what is this? Bremen defaults on its debt. We're going to get this notification a lot over the course of the game. They have a debt to us. They probably invested in our... They probably borrowed money from our bank or our citizens. You can take these as opportunities to sometimes go beat up tiny countries. But I mean, do I care about Bremen? This is a one-province minor of 13,000 people. I don't really care to get my money back, to be honest. They're in my sphere of influence. Yeah, honestly, I don't really want any of these. I'm going to issue an official declaration forgiving their debt. This will keep them happy with us because I just want them under my control. It'll piss off our rich people a little bit, but I genuinely do not care. That's not going to have any effect this early. It's a little bit of conscientiousness, which is how politically aware a person is. I generally like that being very high. And militancy, which is how angry they are. I generally like that being medium low. You want a little bit of militancy so that you actually get reforms passed. So there's some incentive to pass reforms. But you don't want so much that people are like leaving the country and rebelling against you constantly, you know? Okay, we have one more cannon being made. That'll be enough to give this guy his cannon. Okay, well that's a full army, so move him to the border with Russia. Actually, we're 1 unit over the limit. Let's stop making that cannon then. When you're over the limit, you pay extra. Are you playing expansions or just HPM? Expansions and HPM. I should probably put that in the title of the stream or something, shouldn't I? Okay, that's a group of 30. I'm going to put them down there in the French fort. We got a full army up here in Stettin by our port. In fact, I'm going to move our boats over there. Not that we have many. Okay. Nope, Hanover is accusing us of things we've never heard of. We suspect United Kingdom is behind us. We're going to get this a lot, too. This is, if we go to Hanover, we can see that we are discredited by the United Kingdom. So for the next, until June here, we will get less influence with Hanover. So they spent some influence in slowing down our influence gain. Not really that concerned. It happens. I'll increase relations with them so I get more influence with them. The higher your relations and the more money you've invested into their country, the more influence you get with them compared to other people. Alliance with Sweden? I'm fine with that, actually. I'll take the alliance. So all these countries in the light blue here are ones that we've signed a military alliance with. They won't necessarily join us on offensive wars, but they're very likely to join us on defensive wars. So this is kind of creating a little bit of a protection block for us. Now that we have a little bit of money rolling in, let's get another naval base going early. We can only build one extra one right now, and the German Navy starts off very weak. We are not a naval power. So at the beginning of the game, our tech is... It's military-industrial complex, right? Yes, military-industrial complex. We get army research faster and industrial research faster, both very good, but we get culture and navy slower. Culture slower really sucks because culture tech is really good. But navy being slower, it's 5%, which is very little, and navy research I consider generally one of the lesser important ones. Depends on your country. Commerce is still probably the least overall important one if you're a great power. You don't need all of these financial institutions, for instance. And you don't need all of organization until later and stuff. These are a little bit lower priority, although market functionality is still awesome. Market functionality, not only do the early ones just give you farming output and stuff, which is really good, but they all increase your diplomatic influence, which is your ability to actually sphere people and stay competitive on that. So market functionality is an early priority for us. I think Voltaire said Prussia is not a country with an army. It is an army with a country. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, you know? It seemed like their top priority was the army and the state. Which, yeah, that's kind of a German thing. Greetings and welcome to Prussia. You have 200,000 in the bank. Maybe consider building some factories. So, whether or not you can build factories, first of all, is depending on your political party. So we are protectionist. Protectionist means we cannot build our own factories, but we can expand existing factories and we can subsidize factories. We can also build factories in other countries if their party allows foreign investment. We could upgrade our factories, or we could even switch our government, because we're a monarchy right now, to the reactionary party, because they're state capitalists, and that would mean I could just build my own factories. Although the price for building your own factories is not great. Oh, hey, look, some capitalists are actually trying to pool money together to make a machine parts factory. That's really lucky, because what they pick is based off, like, a lot of arbitrary things. I'm actually going to immediately fund that and subsidize that myself, because we really want machine parts early. Machine parts are super valuable. So yeah, I'm gonna invest in that early. But because we don't have many techs that actually make factories efficient, there's not much that makes them any better than artisans. And the problem there is people will start ditching their farming jobs and their laborer jobs and stuff to work in the factories. But if they're not making more, but if that starts eating up our ability to actually like make fruit and coal and what our natural resources are, our RGOs is what they're called in the game. Our RGOs is stuff like our wheat here. You can see we have all this wheat that we're growing. If we start producing too little wheat, then maybe we can't make all the beverages that we were brewing with it, you know? Where in Ontario are you from? Greater Toronto area, Oakville. Some random village in South Canada. Well, I mean, that's where I'm from. Like, I was born in Dunnville, which is some random village. Oh, what is this? The Ascension of Queen Victoria. The game's named after her. The Ascension of Queen Victoria. Let me just. RGO's resource gathering operation. Thank you. The Ascension of Queen Victoria. Today, in the year of our Lord, 1837, William IV, by the grace of God, King of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, defender of the faith, died in Windsor Castle. As he had no living legitimate children, Princess Victoria of Kent, William's niece, found herself ruling one of the great powers and the biggest colonial empire in Europe. Her coronation is scheduled for the 28th of June, 1838, when Princess Alexandria Victoria of House Hanover will officially ascend to the throne of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland as Queen Victoria. Her reign, which would last even a few years into the 20th century, would later be remembered as the absolute zenith of the British Empire, upon which the sun never set. The last British monarch of the House of Hanover, her ascension also marked the end of the personal union between Britain and Hanover, which, under Salic law, excludes women from inheritance. Her uncle became King Ernest Augustus I of Hanover. Today, a jubilant crowd in London has escorted the young Queen Victoria to her residence in the newly formed Buckingham Palace. I love this game. I just look over the chat and I see finger guns. Something, there's something really funny to me about the idea of like, the ascension of Queen Victoria. Yeah, finger guns. Bang, 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 bang. I just want to see Cactus Jack doing the bang bang to the crowd of the Ascension. Can someone? I guess we probably don't have pictures yet. Were cameras even a thing at the Ascension of Queen Victoria? Probably not. I don't think cameras were until like 30 years later. I want like a black and white photo of the Ascension of Queen Victoria, and someone just does a really good Photoshop of Cactus Jack in the crowd. So stupid. All right, how's our army looking? So we're 4th place for military power right now. We've already got a higher military power than we did before. We're reforming the army a bit. As soon as we've got our intellectuals up to 2%, we're just going to start pumping into our military, because I really want to just beat up Austria. I might conquer the entirety of Austria this game. Hey, Archmage Nick, how you been? I've been okay. It's been a lot of work. There's a province named Malabar in India. That's where my palace would be. Malabar. I think I saw that when I played India a couple months ago. Damn, I can't search that either? Rather see Dude Love in the background. You can fit all of them in there. Why not? Hey, Taffy. Finger gun. I think in 1836 there were already cameras, but no possibility to do films. But let me search. Yeah, you actually invent films like in this game. The talkies, for instance. So check this out. This is under culture, obviously. Under psychoanalysis, you have the talkies. This is a little hard to research because it's a little late in the game. It's 1890 is the earliest you could get the root research of this, and then there's only like a dead max of a 6% chance every month to actually discover it. But it's awesome if you get it. First of all, it's shared prestige, which means, so shared prestige, it says 20 shared prestige. I should just teach you how shared prestige works. First country to research that gets the full share, so they get the 20 prestige. Then it's cut in half, 10 prestige. Second country to get it gets 10. Cut in half. Next country gets 5, all the way down till it's only worth 1. And then every country that invents it from then on gets 1. So being the first person to shared prestige technologies or discoveries is very valuable. Really valuable. And the AI tends to drag their feet on the aesthetics tree, which is all about prestige gain. So you can take your time a little bit on it, but if you're a secondary power or a civilized nation, which is like 16th place and below but industrialized, I really recommend you get those prestige techs because it'll really help you raise up in the game early and start to become a better world power. I don't know about the timeline of this game. Maybe it's older than I think. So this game is 1836 to 1936. So we're talking like Industrial Revolution at the beginning, like right before Queen Victoria ascended to the throne, all the way until 3 years before World War II. The goal is to conquer the world. There is no goal. But my goal is to ruin the world. So let me show you something. We already went over plurality, right? But we didn't go over this. This is a French word. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it because although I've been around French all my life, it's it's still not spoken very much outside of school unless you live in Quebec, and I don't. Revanchism. Revanchism. It's revenge. It's the French word for revenge. This is how much your population wants revenge for something that has happened in the past. The way that works... Sorry, I'm just going through and doing some diplomatic, boring stuff here. Just making sure that people like me. The way that works is as a country loses wars, the people get pissed off. They get really pissed off. They want revenge. And when they want revenge, they're willing to accept losing more personal freedoms for it. So if you're a country that's doing awesome, and if you're a country that's doing awesome, you've been dominating the whole game, you're winning your wars, your people are probably going to have pretty mild political opinions. They're probably going to be liberals and conservatives and socialists, because at this time in history, socialism was kind of a hot new thing, so it was considered a lot more normal back then. You know, we hadn't already settled into this whole thing of like, you know, we're in the days right now where there's still a lot of monarchies. Prussia's a monarchy. As the people want revenge for past wars, you know, paying reparations, losing land, just feeling betrayed by their government, feeling like they're not being held up, that's when they start voting in the crazies. That's when they even consider not voting. That's when the militants start wanting to take over your country really bad. And if they do take over, then maybe you're going to be like a dictatorship or something, you know, whether it be communist or fascist, or you could be like anarcho-liberal ones, which are like, you know, anarchists, essentially, like anarcho-libertarian anarchists and stuff. That becomes a thing. You tend to start getting the crazy governments. In my previous Germany fall that I just played on my own, we beat up so many countries so badly, and we dismantled so many countries that kept exploding into smaller and smaller countries that, like, the United Kingdom lost all their African holdings to me. They had, like, a communist coup, and then they just lost another war to me because they suck. Russia literally had their government overthrown about 12 times. By the end of the game, they had 2 prestige. They start the game with 120 prestige, and they had 2 at the end because they couldn't keep a government for more than a decade. It's really funny. All right, we finally got ideological thought. So we just got another national focus. So let me teach you what these national focuses are, really. Do we already have the... No, we can get the state efficiency up there. Cool. What it is on any one of your provinces, you can open this little menu right here, and you can put a focus on it. This is basically telling them, hey, I want more of this type of population. And you tell them the population type you want, and it's a government focus to try and force people into that job. You're trying to focus people into getting that job. It means that when people who are eligible for the job are promoting to a new job, they're more likely to pick the one that you're focusing on. It's really good for tailoring your country in a direction. And if you don't really need a new population type really bad, then I tend to use it for either making more money in the colonies through like encouraging agriculture or whatever, or building up party loyalty. So they'll vote for a party regardless of what the population's beliefs tend to be, which is really nice for just making sure you have a party in charge that actually helps what you're going for, you know? Like, your country might be like, you might really need to assimilate people desperately, but your country is like super conservative or something, and your conservative party for whatever reason has residency, which is like terrible for citizenship, but your liberal party has full citizenship. So you might just try and get them to all really like the liberal party for that, you know? On the other hand, maybe your liberal party are total pacifists in your country, and you really need the army bonuses, so you just try to get them to vote in the reactionaries because they're a bunch of jingoists, and they'll let you put crazy funding into the military. You know, you just go with whatever. Think I found his home read. Oh, cool. Hold on, I want to look it up. Mysore. Shit, down here? Okay, here we go. I think we found it. Is it this area right here? Now, I don't know if these are old names for it, or if these are... It's dead... no, it's dead South India. So down here-ish. I'm gonna say it's down here-ish, then, is where you're from. And you'll probably be able to point it to it from here. Now, I don't know how much these names are, like, anglicized, maybe, if the name has changed since then. We're talking, like, British Raj days in these days, so I'm guessing the names probably aren't the same as they are now, considering India's been self-governing for quite a while now. Just above... Where was that? Right here. It's in here-ish. Probably that you are. Well, at this point in history, it looks like the population was about 500,000 in these two provinces each, which is a lot for this point in history, I want to point out. How many people are living in Prussia? We got a population of 3.6 million. Now, I believe that might just be the population of... Yeah, our total population is actually 14 million. We have 3.6 million working age males, so 1/4 of the population. The population number you see when you look at these is just the population of working age males, because that in this point in history, those were the people doing all the army fighting and the labor in the factories and the farm work and blah, blah, blah. Basically all of the labor pool. No. What is this? We got authoritarianism. Is the view that authority is the most important value, which gives balance and stability to it. It is often combined with traditionalism to give an you can't give me these hard words, man. A foundation for which who should wield authority. Loosen plurality, and people gain less conscientiousness and colonial. That's actually a discovery that I don't like. It's a net negative through the game, pretty much. I don't like it. But you can't really avoid it if you have a conservative government, like, at all. You're pretty much inevitably going to get it at some point. All right, keep befriending UK a little bit more. And it's time that we start befriending Bavaria more. because they're the most powerful nation that we're trying to get in our sphere that Austria has. I'm actually going to put that as top priority. Good, we got our plurality back through egalitarianism, though. A lot of these texts are just going to pop up and go by pretty fast. We're not going to read all of them in huge detail. I'm going to go experimental railroad next, though, because I really want railroads early, because we have the money to mass do railroads. Okay, right now we're just kind of saving up bulk money, but I actually want to lower the tariff a little bit, because we don't need quite that much income, and it's starving out our factories, because anything that you need to... Any factory that needs to import from another country right now is importing at a terrible price. Here we go. Now, this is important. Political religion. This is political reform desire. So, that makes people actually want reform. Political reform generally pushes people towards being more liberal. So, let's go over, like, what makes someone... What are these religious labels at this point in history? Because they don't just straight up mean the same thing as modern day, obviously. We're talking over 100 years ago. Here are some broad categories that exist. These are the 3 broad categories that exist at this early state of the game. Conservative, liberal, reactionary. Oh, we discovered atheism, more plurality. Just, again, having these ideas in popular consciousness gives plurality and open thinking. Conservatives, generally, the Conservative Party will have mild political and... Oh, Portugal declared war on the Netherlands. They'll generally have mild political goals and stuff. They're usually protectionist or free trade. They can be either. They tend to be residency in early game, but they're more friendly towards citizenship as the game goes on. You know, they start a little restrictive. They ease up as the game goes on. And they push through reforms if the people demand it enough. But they don't generally just pursue reforms without the people demanding it. The liberals will always want political reform, so like more voting rights and stuff like that, or like debt laws and better trade unions being opened up, public meetings, press rights, you know, the stuff on the right side here. They'll want that even if people aren't fighting really hard for it. They just want more political freedoms. And they'll also approve of social reforms if there's enough pressure. Socialists, opposite side, they'll do social reforms all the time. They'll do political reforms if there's enough pressure. Those are like the 3 kind of normal ones that aren't that hard to handle if you have a lot of them in your country. You can kind of work with them. Reactionaries won't pass anything even if people are pissed off. They usually want to pull back reforms on political and social freedoms. Generally, you won't end up with a lot of reactionaries unless your country really gets the shit kicked out of them and your people want revenge. Do you need to explain every pop-up? Kinda. It's Victoria too. All right, let's switch this to intellectuals now. So sorry, what is this war all about here? Oh, Brazil's at war. Oh, of course they start at war. Portugal, what is this war going on here? Portugal's at war with Spain and a bunch of colonial holdings. Oh, and they have England on their side. They're trying to acquire land from the Dutch. Dutch Timor. Where is that? Well, that's the Timor Sea. So Dutch Timor is this island right here. It has a population of 6,000. Dude, you're doing a war over that? He's doing a war over that. All right, sure. Good luck. Doesn't seem that worth it to me. Like don't get me wrong, the rest of Indonesia, absolutely. Like right here, this province, Batavia. If you own this late game, one of the highest earning provinces in the entire game. I recommend you conquer this if you can. Get it from the Dutch. Dismantle the Dutch, and they'll give it to you. Get into a great war with the Dutch because they're usually a great power at some point. And then dismantle them. They're super easy to dismantle, and that will give you the colonial holdings, and you'll become insanely rich. How close are we to intellectuals? 2%? Not super. Rationalism, more plurality. Today, that would be the country of East Timor, if I know my map correctly. Is that an independent nation? I actually didn't know. The island of Java, the most populous country in the world today. Yes. Yes. The Isle of Timor. 6,000 people. The other side of Java is even better. Yeah, Java, actually, Indonesia is super, super good land. What's plurality? Right. I don't know if I explained this super well. Plurality is the free thinkingness of your people, essentially. How open they are to sitting and discussing and having ideas. It boosts your science. You get it through winning wars. You get it through diplomatic freedoms, like, you know, not overturning people's diplomatic vote, for instance. You know, if you're a semi-constitutional monarchy and they vote in the conservatives and you came in as the government, you're like, no, this other party, they're going to be it now. You'll have a constitutional crisis and you'll lose some plurality. Okay, experimental railroads research. That was super fast. It's September 22nd, 1838, which is my birthday, long before I was born. I want to build up a whole year of research before 1940. So here's a big strategy in the game. Keep an eye out for activation years on key technologies. Philosophy, this right here, probably the most important tech tree in the game. This is your research speed. Also, all of the discoveries under it are shared prestige. So as you know, first come, first serve on those, super important. And the AI does consider philosophy super important, so they'll gun for it early. So you won't always get the first serve of a lot of these. You can build up 1 year's worth of research, and then when you start spending it, you'll get 100 research a day until you've spent all of that. I highly recommend you use that to save up for key technologies that you really want to rush, like idealism, which is going to help with our research early game. So we want a really quick tech then. We don't have any level 1 techs we could just quickly pump out. So I think what I'm going to do here is medicine, because we do have an industrial bonus. Medicine's discoveries will get us some population growth. It's how many people are born a day in your country, which is very important. Right now we have 3,500 new people a day getting into the workforce through, like, age, you know? We want that as high as possible. So now that we can build railroads, as an interventionist government, we can actually fund our own railroads, but our citizens will also do it. Unfortunately, I don't think we have enough, like, rich capitalists to really afford it. So what I'm going to do is, we barely make money off the capitalists anyway. I'm going to just stop taxing them. Early game, I recommend this. Some people do it the whole game, but I find you have a much stronger economy if at some point you do start, like, barely taxing the poor and taxing the rich a lot more instead, you know? Doing a more modern style of tax tends to work as the game goes on. Early game, though, you just want the rich to start getting a lot of money so that they can become capitalists, so that they can invest in the economy. It's cheaper for capitalists to build your factories than it is for you to build your factories, no matter what your government type is. But manually, I will immediately go in and pick some of my highest value provinces and get them building right away. So what I'm going to do is open my ledger. I want provinces, no, province population, province production, income. The grain from Silesia is currently our highest income province, just ahead of Brandenburg. Okay, well, Berlin itself actually starts with a railroad from the start of the game, so I don't need to worry about that. If I go to this... It's this one right here, Silesia. Yeah, it's okay. So it's in Silesia, grain. Okay, I understand how it does that now. Okay. Railroad that. So it's just going to railroad the whole province, which also means that factories in that province will start getting buffs. Are there any rulers in this game or only places and developments? It's kind of hard to answer that. There aren't rulers in terms of, like, Crusader King style. But there's, like, governments and political parties. We've been banned from Baden. Austria did it. That's fine. We're going to get a lot of those pop-ups over the course of the game, and we're going to skip through a lot of them. Generally, if I'm skipping through pop-ups, it's because I've read them a million times. Okay. How close are we on this intellectuals? We could get there pretty soon, actually. We're raising at a good rate now. Is the American Civil War in this game? Yes. Oh, UK's calling me into a war? What's their war? The Anglo-Sikh War. Oh, against the Sikh Empire? Yeah, I'll join. I'm not going to participate, but I don't want to lose the alliance. End the war with the Sikhs. The British consider this their business, and we shall not get involved. No, I don't care. That war is going to go for like 2 seconds anyway, so... Hanover wants an alliance? Absolutely, I'll take the alliance with Hanover. Because I want Hanover to like me, because I'm kind of trying to, you know, get them in my sphere of influence. God, that coffee's good. Man, have I been live for like 2 hours? I don't even know how. I do need to go get some lunch and some sunlight soon, I guess. I knew I'd just end up rambling the whole beginning of this game. Do we at least get to crush minor countries? Oh, yes, we will. Individualism, that's great. More plurality. Long streams are fun, yeah, but I also boil to death. Child labor laws passed. Following Britain's lead in 1839, Prussia, under the influence of some religious and social figures, passed a law strictly regulating the amount of child labor that was possible during the year. According to the new legislation, the Prussian government will lay down restrictions on child labor, with the following major points. Children under the age of 9 are banned from factory labor. Children needed to have at least 3 years of schooling before working, and children under the age of 16 could work no more than 10 hours per day. Other provisions included mandated rest times and a total ban on night work for children. We can either say no, lose a little prestige and piss people off, or just pass it through, and that'll piss off people less. That'll mostly just increase political awareness and a little prestige. The reason why you would want to not do this is because legal child labor means a huge RGO throughput bonus. But if we take it, this increases artisan throughput and poor savings by a tiny bit, and it'll make education a little better. Factory throughput is also up. Yeah, this will hurt our economy slightly, but I'm going to want to do this anyway. I'm kind of happy that I get this option. Generally, I like to rush through a lot of political reforms and social reforms because they tend to be a lot better than they are expensive, you know? There goes the labor force. Yep, so we have it not outlawed, but restricted a lot. We'll outlaw it eventually, but it probably won't be for a while. So when are we going to finish this research? January 1940. Okay. Unless our tech rate really picks up by then. Our plurality is already up to 41%, which is not bad. Okay, Hanover. Absolutely, we will increase your opinion of us. Where are we at now? So we're friendly with them. One more level, and we'll have them in our sphere of influence. It looks like we've got no real competition for it. So I'm going to just bump up the level at which I'm investing in them. Just so more of my influence is allocated towards them. I'm also just going through and dumping some more opinion bonuses on the people that we're currently trying to sway. Now, we will do a war over this at some point, and a lot of these people we could probably just easily beat in the war. But that's not for a little while. Where's Fatima? She's at work. It does raise conscientiousness, i.e. people become more aware of their rights and strengthen numbers. Yes. I generally try to keep people's conscientiousness as high as possible. Literacy helps that a lot. But there's also a lot of texts that help that. A lot of your texts that are going to help with that come from social thought mostly biologism. This is really important because you get, under Darwinism, you get a ton of education efficiency. You get this in 1850, super valuable for any country that doesn't start with really high literacy. If you're like Brazil and you want to be a great power, for instance, you want that tech pretty early. Once you get that tech, it's really going to help you pick up your science game. The Cato Street Conspiracy. A group of known radicals have been assembling at a central townhouse on Cato Street regularly for several months. The group's outspoken radical Republican agenda and its attempts to recruit new members have led officials to raise concerned eyebrows and to keep a watchful eye on the group. In a dawn raid by police early this morning, suspicious members were confirmed by the group were caught red-handed planning an assault on a known member of the cabinet in preparation for a future coup d'etat. Although we'd never risk the plan seeking fruition, the incident has sparked a debate in the upper house on the need to curtail and regulate the right to assembly. Well, we could say, let's avoid a slip into anarchy. We'll get more conservatives in the House, and we'll lose a little plurality. Or liberty must always be defended. Gain a little plurality, and gain 10% more liberals in the House. Now, the House gets reshuffled at the beginning of every year, so those liberals won't stay super long anyway. This will likely have no effect. But the 3% pluralism, yeah, that's just 3% more science points per day, so obviously I want to take that, you know? Is Sabu on the prowl or taking a nap? It is... Oh, war's over. It's 2 p.m., so he's probably sleeping in the bedroom, on the bed in the sun. This is usually where he is around this time. Actually, usually around this time, I'm taking my midday walk, which I just take literally in my bedroom, because pandemic. I usually go for a walk, and he ends up wanting to hang out with me, so I just, like, carry him around the room and just go for a walk around the room, put in some earbuds, listen to a podcast. So he's probably over there waiting for me, poor guy. He probably fell asleep waiting for me. I'll go over there and go with my walk with him soon. He was hanging out in here before the stream started, but he doesn't tend to hang out in here long unless he gets to steal my chair. Gotta leave, but I hope you put this on YouTube eventually. Yeah, it will go up on YouTube eventually. I'll figure something out, promise. Even if it's just unlisted playlist, it'll still be publicly available. I'm sure any of you guys who are interested will get the memo, you know? You can always just tweet me, and if I see the tweet, I'll respond with a link or whatever. Okay, I want to keep outlining Beta in here, because seriously, they do actually make a decent military, considering they're a German minor. We're almost done researching medicine. We're in December. Boom. Okay, you can see we've rearranged the house. More conservatives, makes sense. Right now, the upper house is picked based on appointed upper house members, which just means that yeah, landowners and capitalists are assigned to seats by the leader of the country, so it just tends to be whatever the rich people want. If you have a lot of capitalists, they tend to be more liberal. If you have a lot of landowners, they tend to be more conservative. But either than that, it kind of just depends on how your game goes on what the opinions of those people will be. Medicine done. Let's go straight into idealism for that tech rate. And let's hope we get some of these techs early. I want antibacterial and antiseptic principle because that is pop growth. We want vaccination, that's pop growth. Chemotherapy is not that important. Genetics, hereditary, that's pop growth, pop growth. So there's 4 techs with pop growth there. We want all of them. Let's hope we get them soon. Earlier we get them, the more people we get. Right now we're getting about 3,500 new people in the workforce a day. What are you most excited for with Vicky 3? I don't know. The game's not out yet. Who knows? It's midnight here. Gotta sleep. I hope you have a good sleep. Sorry you probably don't get to catch the stream much considering, you know, time zones are a bitch. Hope you had a fun time, though. I'll probably play as India on stream once. I do want to play as India in Crusader Kings sometime. I think that'd be really fun, because India's in those games, and I played as them a little bit. Some, like, Indian miners. And it's really different. It's honestly really different from playing as a European power. It's cool that the game's got that kind of variety. We just started befriending Luxembourg a little, by the way, just because we somehow ended up with some influence on them. I'm not going to fight for them, just because our influence has better places to go than Luxembourg. Luxembourg is never going to be that important. Oh, Mozart Festival. In 1838, 42 choral societies from Rhineland, Baden, Hessen, and Franconia met in Frankfurt to celebrate a 3-day festival of Mozart's music. The event turned into a demonstration of the political unification of Germany, however. They shall sing, not debate. Began a tiny bit of plurality, but more importantly, all the poor and most of the poor and middle class of our country become more politically aware. By a lot, actually. That really bumped up our conscientiousness. Now, our conscientiousness is actually ticking down, which kind of sucks. So, do you like going laissez-faire or control? I find state capitalism is kind of nice in early game just to get your like basics set up. But if you've built a strong economy and you have a good industrial base, then laissez-faire, I find, tends to get you the farthest by the end of the game. Like in the word choir. Oh! So it's choral. I guess, like a Q noise. Why do you want high conscientiousness? Good question. Okay, so the game treats it like conscientiousness is a bad thing, right? You hover over this menu, and if it's ticking up, it's got a big red number, so it seems like a bad thing. It could be. Like, if you are refusing to put through social reforms and stuff, then sure. I can understand why conscientiousness would be a bad thing. If people know their rights, then they're not going to vote for who you want them to vote for. They're going to vote for who they actually want. But high conscientiousness leads people to protesting for rights, and generally, that will lead to you getting more opportunities to pass through social and political reforms. And if you're doing well and your country doesn't just constantly want revenge, then you tend to come out pretty strong if you pass those reforms and you keep your economy in order and everything, and people like the reforms, it keeps them happy. And so you'll be better off if you just pass the reforms. So that's why you want high conscientiousness by the end of the game, is so that your government gets the pressure so that you actually can pass them. On June 7th, 1840, King Frederick Wilhelm III died, almost 70 years old. His son, a romantic, succeeded him to the throne. All liberals in the whole country gained conscientiousness. Prussia has a lot of things in early game that just automatically gives them some conscientiousness because of historical events. On a scale of 1 to 10, how complex is this game? 10 being the highest. That's hard to say. Victoria 2 is an old, not very user-friendly Paradox interactive game. It is hard to learn, for sure. Took me a long time to learn. For my first many playthroughs, I was tabbing out and Googling stuff all the time. I'm talking wiki diving, I'm talking Reddit diving, I'm talking anything. Steam guides, whatever. Because sometimes something would happen and you just don't know why. Any of you watching right now who have learned how to play Crusader Kings 2 knows exactly what I'm talking about, where the game is full of very small, obscure rules that are not well explained to the player. But once you have a hang of the game, damn, it's fun. It's real fun. Okay, I'm gonna real quick, we have a lot of money. The money's still coming in stably, so I'm gonna start investing more in railroad manually again. I'm gonna upgrade this province right here because I do believe this one almost always gets a gold mine at some point and starts making a lot of money, so I definitely want a railroad there. Having railroads in provinces will not only increase the speed at which your troops move there, but more importantly, it'll make your factories there produce more goods for the same amount of input. They'll just be better, more efficient. It'll also mean that whatever raw resource you get from that province, you get more of it for the same amount of people. Railroads are the lifeblood of your industry. Damn, I want Copenhagen at some point. Look at that gold mine they have there. Right, I'm gonna start mass investing. I'm shift-clicking here. I'm really building railroads. Now, we'll still need the lumber, the cement, and the steel for this. So something that's quite different about this game to a lot of other strategy games is that money is not the end-all be-all. I'm making a lot of money right now, as you can see. You know, money's looking good. We're banking a lot. We got like $500,000 in the bank. It's looking good. Should we invest in sphered German states? Yes, definitely, because we're going to be taking them over at some point anyway, right? I could actually start investing in Baden and stuff, yeah. By investing a little bit of money in provinces that we're influencing, it makes it so that other people who are trying to influence them have a harder time. They need to invest money, or else they will have a detriment. So it just makes it much easier for us to control them. I think I've invested at least a little bit in everyone that we care about here. I think so. Has anyone else invested in Baden? Yes, actually. Austria's invested half as much as us. Well, I am an interventionalist. I will pay $1,000 to reopen their fertilizer plant that will not be subsidized and will probably immediately collapse. I'm rich enough. I'll also open a cement factory. Actually, no, I don't want... Because Austria is going to get that cement in early game. Nah, I'm just going to dump a little money that's not going to go anywhere. There we go. Perfect. Okay, we're really, really close. There we go. We're at 2% intellectuals. Boom. Switch to soldiers. It's time to jack up that military score. Wait, hold on. UK, who are you at war with? You're in the Opium War against China. Why are you mobilizing your reserves? Okay, so mobilizing reserves, for anyone who doesn't know, is like basically the draft. You're just massing all of your population and giving them guns as regular infantry. It hurts your economy a lot, but it's like total war, you know? England is mobilizing their reserves to go fight China for what? Punitive, unequal treaty. Yeah, they're unequal treaty. So they're trying to take a treaty port like this. Or like this. Or like this. And they're mobilizing their reserve for that. They're gonna send just random people with guns from Liverpool and just send them out to China to fight. Okay. Alright, well, if that's how England wants to play, then I am not concerned. Give me 3 artillery. Why are the mobilized people in Ireland? I know, right? What, is UK losing to China? Probably not. They're probably winning. That's the funny part. Are you ever going to continue Deus Ex, by the way? Yeah, eventually, at some point. I'm just super busy. Copenhagen is gold because they have sound due tolls. Yeah, we do need to get rid of that. Usually gets removed in the 60s or 80s, yeah. Although we can remove it ourselves, although I think we need some naval tech for it that we're probably not going to end up getting before the UK does. The UK has bonuses to their rate of getting... There we go. They've got bonuses to the rate at which they research naval stuff right from the start of the game because they are the world's leading naval power. There we go. I just got our friendship with Bavaria up quite a bit. That'll really help us get the influence with them. Military access, I will absolutely give that to them because I want an alliance with them. They'll help in the war. Chartist rallies, here we go. This will help. I love this because this gets us liberal agitation. And I want a lot of liberals in the country. A rally has been organized in one of our states by members of the Prussian Chartist Club, calling for the extension of voting privileges to a broader strata of the voting publicum. Ooh, old words. While calm and relatively orderly on the surface, the rally might get out of hand at any time. Police are standing by, ready to intervene, and some among them even seem eager to. We can either let the boys in blue have their way with these vomiteer of revolutionaries. Literally, I've never seen that word in my entire life. Where I just gun them down. No, let them hold their rally. The people in that province will become 10% more liberal. They'll get a little angry, a little more aware. And they'll be a little bit more into landed voting rights, which I am very much for. I want landed voting rights, because then we can finally move away from being just a straight monarchy and start slowly moving towards a little bit more democracy. First time catch... Oh, I already read that one. Here we go. Is that our 3 artillery already? That was quick. Okay. We actually want to start stockpiling some stuff for military use. Are any of these really cheap right now? Canned food's pretty cheap, and I got a lot of money banked, so boom, let's immediately buy up a stockpile of 2,000 canned food, just so that if a war hits and we are blockaded or something, we can, you know, we can run off our stockpile for a while. I'm also gonna buy 500 small arms. And the ammo's pretty cheap too, 500. We'll lose a lot of money for a few days as we buy up that stockpile from around the world. There we go. We can see we're buying a certain amount per day on each one, just depending on how much is available on the market for us. Because, you know, we're only we get 5th dib on all these goods. Although we always get 1st dib on the goods we produce locally. Like, do we produce any cans? We've got a couple canneries, although one produces, like, nothing. Yeah, we don't produce much canned goods ourselves. How are you in chat? I'm doing good. Okay, most of the goods are bought up there. That's perfect. Oh, what's this? Deutschlandlied. In August 1841, Hoffmann von Faslenben wrote his poem Deutschlandlied on Helgoland, combined with the melody of the Austrian Joseph Haydn for fuck, Franz den Kaiser. It would one day become the German national anthem. A dreamer! Yes, everyone gains some conscientiousness. All of the North and South Germans in the country, which is, all of our population? Almost all of our population. We got like 20% that's not. We have a cannery factory inside my city in a residential area. Oh, someone asked earlier if like Quebec and Ontario and stuff are in the game. Yeah, the whole world is in the game. You can play as Canada. They're pretty fun. You can release them as Britain in early game, and they're really good. They get a huge immigration bonus because they're in the new world. And Canada can be really fun if you do a good job of making them more appealing to move to than America. You can end up with a really big population because of immigration. It's hard to get immigration when you're in Europe, though. If you are in the New World or in Oceania, Australia, then you get a big bonus to immigration pull. So Australia is a powerful country if you play as them independently. Sounds hilarious when people who don't know German try to pronounce it. I hear little bits of German here and there, but obviously I never had any kind of formal education, so... I've got a lot of German fans, though, which I always think is kind of funny. I don't know why I would be big in Germany, specifically. Like, I have no idea, quite frankly, either than large population country. And, you know, a lot of German people know English, so maybe that's it. You also got a bunch of Dutch fans. Yeah, I do have lots of Dutch fans, but that one actually makes sense. Like, I can understand why I have a lot of Dutch fans. From how it's been explained to me, the way that I speak and the way I articulate myself and just my directness, I guess, is, my directness is a lot more like the Dutch, I guess, you know? They're more direct and to the point from what I understand. And in fairness, every Dutch person I've ever met, I got along with amazingly. Like, hit it right off the bat. on the same page every time. I don't know. Don't know what it is. All right. We still do need nationalism and imperialism at some point, but that's not till the 50s that we can get that. I wouldn't mind an early state and government because, again, national focuses. We do have the population to get them. You can get a tiny bit of plurality out of it, but you're also likely to lose a little bit. The Diplo points, though, out of Mission to Civilize is really good, but I think that unlocks in a certain year. Yeah, that unlocks in the 60s. So not until quite a while after you can get the tech. Really, if you want state and government, you're getting it for other reasons, like the, you know, the national focus. What we could do is compound steam engine right now because it would just get us lots of money. Farming output and stuff is important. At the same time, market structure would also help us with that. Plus, it'd make the factories a little better, and it would get us diplomatic influence, which we care a lot about. That's what's going to help us sphere people. Market structure for sphere game. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that. I just want to double check that these real quick and see if there's anything higher priority for me. Okay, Iron Breach loaded artillery, state and government, regenerative furnaces, 150 industrial score. And this one's market structure, organized factories, early railroad. That's the Boom. Yes, I do want that. Market structure is one of the things we need for it anyway. Early railroad, did it say? That's right after experimental, right? And organized factories. These are all very early game, actually. I could do all of them right now. If we wanted to, we could gun for all of those techs and grab it early. And we could use part of that to help us get the industrial score we need to do the thing that will help us with our tech rate. I could go realism early, too, just for helping our prestige, but honestly, I don't know if I'll need it. I'm going to go with some of this market structure stuff early. I think what we're going to do is market structure. I'm going to pour some more money into my railroads here because we seriously have the money. Sorry, our country is just such awful border gore. I'm kind of going through and just trying to make sure that I actually clicked all the places. And that it's not just our neighbors, you know? There we go. Okay. Can you make them join you like in Hoi 4? What, sphered people? It's very easy to sign a military alliance with people in your sphere, so kinda. Okay, that's another full army right there. We'll put them down in that corner on the Austrian border. These dudes need 1 cannon. And then these dudes are gonna need 3 cannons. Then all of our current armies will be full-on dudes. Okay, you've already started building them? Cool. We must solve the border gore with absurdly sized cannons. Yes! Hey, we got a vaccination! The method meant that one could immunize animals and humans from illnesses that flourished. This made life easier for man and cattle, tending more profitable. That's a strange way to word that. Sorry, it's very small text as well. What's the 69 in the military tab? Oh, that's how many soldiers that we could mobilize out of our poor people if we were to mobilize the army. We likely will never do that as Germany unless it's a total emergency, because our standing army is going to be pretty strong. Army attrition, kind of cool. Army hospital, I'm actually not entirely sure what it does, but pop growth is massive. I know 0.01% looks like nothing, but we're getting like 3,500 people a day, right, into the workforce. That will go up when we unpause. Inspired nationalists in Prussia, inspired by the wave of liberalism in neighboring countries, have risen up. Agitators are running through the streets, waving flags and calling for their brethren to fight for freedom. Responding with violence could inflame the entire state, but Prussian officials agree that this cannot be allowed to continue. We have nationalist agitation. People become more angry, more conscientious, and more liberal. That is perfectly fine with me. I want the country to become more liberal soon anyway. Hanover, cool. We can influence them. Oh, we can sphere them now. Hell yeah. Okay, so when we sphere Hanover, that's this light green country here. They're kind of... It's kind of a mess. They're mostly producing cattle, fish, grain, a little bit of fruit. Okay, foods. They're mostly producing foods. And they will make that available to us directly. So if we look at grain, for instance, is that the main thing they're producing? Livestock, grain, fish? Yeah. Let's look at the before and after numbers here. It's probably not going to be a big jump, but, you know. Military hospitals reduce how many people die in battle. Army attrition makes your army take less attrition and consume less supply. Okay, so military hospitals probably pretty good then, as long as the numbers are okay. Less people dying in battle is really good, which is why, debatably, the most important military tech is army leadership. Gives you military tactics. Military tactics make less of your people die in battle, which is huge. Second best is almost definitely artillery bonuses, because artillery bonus is like... There's no inventions under most of them, so it looks fairly boring. But seriously, the artillery support bonus is enormous. So if I go here, I want to go to... Let's just go to grain. So we have 119 grain available for the country on the world market. We've sphered them on pause. Boom. Now it's 133 available. So they're only making like 15 grain a day or something. Not much compared to us, but they sell it to us before they sell it to the world market. So if we are having a grain shortage, we get that little extra bit. Plus, with Hanover in our sphere, it's very easy to keep an alliance with them. We'll be taking them over later, though. Oh, Bavaria got our ambassador banned. You dick. That was definitely Austria. Address to Parliament. And although my throat is getting very sore. And it seems, although pleasing, therefore, that the order long established shall prevail throughout the centuries, throughout the eras, and today, a conservative member of the upper house has addressed... Oh, end of quote. A conservative member of the upper house addressed Parliament today with a lionizing speech to the nation and his manifold glories. We can either make everybody lose a conscientiousness or a militancy. I don't want them to become less conscientious. I'm just going to have them become less militant because they basically have no militancy anyway. I want them to be politically aware. I'm trying to get them to be politically aware. Well, Neo-Kantian idealism. Kant's transcendental idealism had meant that the world can only be understood through categories or ideal concepts that are inherent in us and empirical. This is sometimes called weak empiricism. I'm not going to read all of those that go on forever. Hey, genetics hereditary, more pop growth, boom. That's great. Oh, thanks for the resub there. I appreciate that. That's a very German name you have. Are you German? How many Germans do we have in the chat today? And if you're a German, is where you're from in Germany, oh, it's pronounced Kant. Kant? You'll have to let me know if I got that right. Of you Germans in the chat, where you're from, is it part of Prussia right now, or are you your own principality? I'm curious. Okay, well, Bavaria's got us banned for a little while, so I'm going to keep working on Württemberg, because they also tend to be a little bit hard to dislodge, and they've got a decent little army. Okay, you are going to hang out on the border with Saxony, because we're almost definitely going to have to fight them in the war. Yes, well, part German. Oh, okay. Liberal author, and yet he saw the my throat is really getting scratchy, I gotta say. Okay. Everybody can become 3% more liberal. I'm gonna drop that there, and you know what? My throat is really starting to give out on me, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wait for these artillery to get built. I'm gonna wait for them to get over here and join up with the army. About a month ago, I played a Krakow run. It was one of the best, most fun games you've had. That's awesome. That must have been hard. Was it in like HPM and stuff? Are there any unique, what do you call them? Any unique events for that? Sorry, someone's still traveling? Yeah, right there. Okay. Are there any unique events as Krakow? Hey, Eddie. Eddie Dude. I like that name. Okay, this new army is going to go down there. And we only have 4 slots for another army, so I'm just going to do that for now, but we'll have more slots soon. We're trying to get the best military in the game. We're at 3rd place for military now. I think when we started, we were like 5th place. You can form Galicia and Poland as Krakow. Okay. I assumed you could form Poland, although that might be pretty hard. Maybe I'll give that a try sometime. That actually sounds really fun. Where I lived, near Dusseldorf, is under your control right now. But you don't control where I live right now, which would be Frankfurt. Yeah, Frankfurt's West Germany. It's over here, right? Yeah, right there. Frankfurt, in my German file that I was playing on my own the last week, Frankfurt's actually where I'd congregate all my troops. And it's where some of my best factories were. Frankfurt became not quite my most important hub in the West. I'd say the Rhineland was still my most important hub in the West, but Frankfurt was a close second. Anyway, as much as I'd love to stream for you guys forever, I've already been going for quite a while, and my throat is really giving out on me because I'm humanly incapable of shutting up for 2 seconds, which I guess, you know, I mean, I'm a Let's Player, so, you know. It's what I do. I hope you guys have had fun with the stream. It's the longest I've streamed in probably a year. 2.5 hours. That's not even counting the pre-stream thing where I like paused it and restarted it because there was some weirdness going on with the Twitch server, which I hope worked its way out in the background, but I saw a couple people saying there was some buffering. I don't know what's going on there. But all this will go up on YouTube at some point. Is there a way to shorten your name? Yeah, everybody just calls me MDB or Madry. I guess you wouldn't know that if you just watch the Pokemon challenges necessarily, because like people call me MDB and like everything else. But in the Pokemon challenges, there's no reason for me to just refer to myself as MDB. Wow, my voice is really starting to give out. Do you hear that? Oh my god. Ooh, okay. I'm a little out of practice, everybody. It's been a hard work week. It's been a hard couple work weeks. Thank you, everybody, by the way, for all of the subs that you've been giving me this stream. I really appreciate it. Both of my cats just went in for dental surgery that we didn't even think they were going to need. And, like, legit cat dental surgery, most expensive thing in the world. Where I live, it's like $2,000 per cat. So just there you go. It's $4,000 Canadian. I'm fine. I'll be okay. Don't worry about me. I just want to say I really appreciate the people who sub and everything. Just know that the money is going somewhere important. I'm not just squandering it or anything. You guys know that I reinvest in the show and I take care of my family, my pets first and foremost before any kind of luxury. I'm being responsible. You did not have to gift those, but thank you so much for doing those. I very much appreciate that. I hope that everybody there enjoys your subs. Oh, cool. Danica got one of those subs. That's awesome. Danica's a friend of mine. And Green Clonk, you got your name in one of my... there's an upcoming run where your name is in it. Spoiler alert. It's the Smeargle run coming up. Oh, I need to move where the alerts are for this, don't I? Because they're over top of the chat. There you go. All right. All right. Legit. My throat sucks so bad right now. Thank you, everybody, so much for coming to the stream. I had a blast. I'm going to try and stream this more often for you guys. Today was actually my day off. I just streamed because I felt like I had been really bad about streaming because I was too busy with everything else. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. I can't wait to stream this again for you guys. Until next time, have a nice day.